I'll be honest with you, although I really enjoy speaking on stage and giving value and maybe making some of you guys cry, sorry, not sorry, but this is actually one of the segments that I'm looking forward to the most because just like the song says, hey ladies, like this one's for the ladies out there, but it's also for the dudes. I want you guys to pay attention to this because I'm gonna try to dive as deep as possible, but I really want you guys to pay attention and focus to this segment and what we're gonna talk about here because it's gonna be very, very impactful if you let it in. And all these ladies up here, they vary in age, there's a lot of similarities and a whole lot of differences. But we're going to try to get as real with you guys as possible. So pay attention, take good notes, and we'll see if we can inspire you to get out there and go crush it in your business. So real quick, every single one up here is an executive, by the way, meaning that sponsored 10 or more. It's all executives right here. So these ladies go over here. All right, so Catherine, I want to start with you. And those of you guys that don't know, brief history of Catherine has been in the business with me for, did you come in November-ish? Somewhere around there. Catherine's a single mom, and she literally uprooted her and her daughter. They were in Rochester, New York, and moved down to San Antonio, Texas. And she is literally the only caregiver for her daughter, who is now 2 years old, correct? And I can imagine that weighs on you quite a bit, knowing that it's all on you. There's nobody else but you. Tell us a little bit about how you muster up the strength and courage and energy to keep putting out content and keep motivating and inspiring yourself, because you don't have a significant other home. You literally just have what's in your head, which, as we've discussed today, can be rather challenging. So what is it that gets you out of bed and allows you to do what you do every day?
Honestly, every day it's just looking at her face, knowing that she looks up to me for absolutely everything. And why I got started in this business is because I wanted to become the best me that I could for her. If I want her to be her best self, I need to be my best self. But I know it's not going to happen if I'm just doing the same old thing and I'm miserable, barely paying the bills. So I look at her every single day, and now I get to work from home and see her face every day. And anytime that I am at a low place, or maybe not working my business as I should, I look at her and I'm like, well, I'm literally saying no to her and her future and what I want her to be. So my motivation is her, looking at her every day and knowing how much of an impact I'm making by making content every single day, talking to the next person, helping the next person. That's my drive every single day.
I can imagine that, having a 2-year-old is kind of hard to make content when she's awake. And especially when the majority of your business is run via social media, you have to plan that time out. How difficult or challenging is it to balance life, taking care of her needs, and also having your own time? Because I would imagine you probably have some pretty late nights and some pretty early mornings.
Yes, definitely. I would say whenever I first moved, I didn't know how much I was in for it. I kind of guess I thought everything was just going to be great, and once I moved and I was totally on my own, it was like, wow, this is hard. I mean, it went for probably like 2 months straight of like crying almost every single day because everything was on me and I had to figure it out. And me time, there was no me time. So I try to schedule things like when she's napping or when she is asleep at night. That's whenever I'm actually able to work. A lot of my content, if anybody's seen that, she's in it because I'm just like, well, this is just how it goes. But honestly, that turns out to be the best because people can relate to me. They see that I'm backing up everything that I say in my content. I'm like, well, she's in the content today, and we just roll with it. But every day is definitely a challenge, and my me time is short, but I'm thankful for the chance to just be able to be home with her.
Awesome. So, Rachel, I'll kick it over to you. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but you recently just lost your job.
Last Friday.
Yeah, so literally recently just lost your job. And I understand, and again, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I understand that you're going to be receiving unemployment. And obviously, we all know anyone that's ever been on unemployment, we know that only lasts for a certain amount of time. So I know you had a conversation with your husband, correct, about being full-time in Savings Salary Global. And although full-time sounds really great to say it out loud, but at the end of the day, you have a ticking clock because that unemployment only lasts so long. What is it like with your husband when the kids go to bed and you're behind closed doors and it gets real? How do you instill faith in him that you can do this?
Wow, that's a great question. It is a ticking time bomb. I don't even know, I think it's 2 weeks before I get unemployment. So we've given a 5-week window for me to be able to replace the income. So it is a lot of pressure on me right now. I am very fortunate. My husband, even though I know what he is thinking, he is not saying it. Thank you so much, Mike. He's not here. But he's supportive. But behind closed doors, we don't even get to see each other very much. So he works full time. I'm working full time, and I was working this full time and my job. So it was already a condensed schedule, but now even more, I'm just going to double up on all my effort. So he's being wonderful, taking care of, we have 5-year-old twins. And that's actually the biggest struggle is when they want to come in my office and they want to play, and I'm like, Mommy, why are you on your computer? Let me type. I'm like, no, don't touch that. And like she's gonna send a LinkedIn message to Google.
So how do you prioritize with twins, husband, family time, and trying to be full-time? How do you when you internalize with yourself, how do you time block and plan that out? What does that even look like?
So it means if I want to get things done before the rest of the house, I get up earlier than everybody else. A few people know this about me, I work out every day. And it's something I will not give up. So in order to get the workout out, I wake up at 5 or 5:30, whatever time I need to. But while I'm eating my breakfast before my workout, I bring out my computer and I start working right away because it's when I'm most productive. It's during that first cup of coffee. So I'll start engaging. I'm not texting anyone that early, but I will jump on LinkedIn or Facebook Messenger, and if people hear it, they hear it, but that's when I can get things done. But prioritize the girls, I make sure I'm there in the morning with them before their grandmother watches them when my husband and I work. So I have at least a solid 2 hours with them in the morning, and then the rest of the day, if I come downstairs to grab lunch or I do occasionally just run downstairs to grab some hugs because they're going to kindergarten next month and I'm not going to be able to do that much longer. But yeah, they're my world, so they're why I'm here too. Like, as parents, it's always fun kids.
Awesome. Thank you. So let's take it a little bit further. Faith. You're an executive, and you're retired. You don't need to work. So you no longer work in a job, and, what has you, as someone who's retired, what has you building a business like this? Why is this even important to you?
Well, because I need the money. All praises to the Father, I say that. I'm here because I do need money. I've taken care of myself all of my life, right? We grew up in our parents' homes and we get out on our own. And I've always been an independent person. Always kept a job. I started working at 9. And I've just always taken care of myself. Well, a few years ago, I resigned. I was asked to resign because I was relocating from Georgia to Texas. And so my manager had told me that I would still be able to telecommute. The day before I was leaving for Texas, I was told, no, those positions have to remain in Atlanta. So now what do? Do I just cancel everything? My furniture and everything is gone in Texas, my flight, everything is gone. So what do? Well, I turned in my resignation. And I went on to Texas, and I had an apartment, and everything was, posted. As it turns out, I ended up taking an early retirement because I did need money now, right? So I took an early retirement in 2019 and haven't worked since then. And now I'm finding it difficult to find a job because I have not worked since 2019 for anybody, right? And then I needed more income. The Social Security, as you know, has already been said today, it's not going to last, it's never going to be enough. And I was praying for some additional income, and my friend Lois London called me. I knew this was it when I saw the business. I just knew this was it. And so I started working this business, and I made it my business to make sure that I hit that executive position in those 30 days, because I needed that bonus. Absolutely. I needed the bonus. And so now I'm working this business, and the main reason is because, Dan, I do not want my children taking care of me. This business is right up my alley. I am a minister. I've been in ministry for over 40 years now, and I've always been a bivocational pastor, right? I worked corporate and church, all right? And so my children are used to seeing me doing. I'm always doing something. And the other day, I did not have enough. And it was like, you do this business or you go back to work. I will never, yes, I will never work another job. This is not.
And more than one of you guys can answer this, but it's, when you think about some of the pressures that are on you, being a busy mom, retired, no job, single mom, quitting is easy. Everyone can quit. That's why it's so easy. That's why everybody does it, because it's so easy. What is it where in your thought process and your psyche do you not let yourself quit? And what is it that triggers you to be like, I'm going to figure it out? What is that one thing for you?
The one thing for me is being hungry, being homeless, and that's for real. I mean, at any point, we are 2 paychecks away from homelessness? I mean, it's real. And so when you find something like Savings Highway Global that will continue to give you your time freedom, that will give you the income that you need to pay your bills and travel, I love to travel. So that's it for me. Either I'm going to eat or I'm not going to eat. Either I'll have a roof or I will not have a roof. We've all said it already. This is a must. This is not an option. When my children were growing up, I applaud you guys. I'm telling you, I know it's not easy. I was there. It is not easy, and I applaud every last one of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so thankful to be a part of what is happening here. And so now, when my children look at me, they know that she's just not going to stop. I just don't stop. I just don't stop. And that's what I have up here. Just don't quit.
So, Kirsty, over to you. I receive, those of you guys that don't know, I receive a lot of voicemails from Kirsty. We talk, and, Brogan, hey, what's up? But I talk to your wife a lot. That's all good. Shout out to Brogan, he is an awesome But the funny part is, a lot of times when I get these messages, I have to pay attention and listen to what she's saying, because there's 3 screaming kids in the background, and she's trying to juggle being a mom, being a social media rock star, and she's also trying to compete in a friend of her and make the same amount of money or more than her husband makes. And we all know the stereotypes out there that it's harder for women to make the same amount of money or more than a man. And I know that that's something that Kirsty, obviously, you're very, very passionate about. I want to know about, again, you know, when the kids are asleep at night and everybody has ebbs and flows and peaks and valleys in their business. Maybe tell us a little bit about some of the harder conversations that you've had with Brogan when the doors are closed and it's just you guys and it's late at night and the kids are in bed and you know that you're clearly meant for more and you've been in ruts before. We've talked about that. How do you get through that? And how does that dynamic look? What does that look like with your husband?
So, my husband back there videoing me, he's my biggest fan. It can be rough. It can be really rough sometimes because it is throughout the day that I'm creating content. My kids are literally in the background screaming, or hey, mom, that's, you know, my daughter woke up, 1 minute, you know. And I do that, and the reason I do it is because of the conversations he and I have at night, throughout the weekend, being on a trip like this. We're made for more. We're made for more, and because we're made for more, we can't stop. Just like Faith said, because if I stop, if I pull out my deck of excuses and decide that I can't do it for any reason, how can I let others do the same? If I pull out my excuses, how can I help another person know that they can?
That's right.
It wouldn't happen. The only way for you to get out of poverty, or to help others get out of poverty, is for yourself to get out of poverty. The only way for you to be truly abundant is to do it first and then allow others to feel that. It's contagious. It's contagious energy. When you step into your power, you allow others to do the same. And I wanted to do so many different things. And my husband, Brogan, he's one who just really supports all of it. He supports every single part of it. It's been wild. I mean, my last 2 months, holy Hannah, I don't even know how I've done what I've done. I mean, you guys saw in my presentation, to be able to make 11,000 something bucks as I was so pregnant. That didn't happen, oh my gosh, write this down. That did not happen based on luck. That happened based on design. And the only way that you can propel your business is when you could, like, exactly constructively design it. You can't just throw one at the wall and be like, well, you know, hope something sticks. No. It sticks because you know it will, because you put the right pieces together. Just like you're designing a house. If you couldn't design a house by saying, okay, well, I think the foundation goes like this, and maybe, you know, put up the walls like that, or whatever. No. You would know exactly how it's structured. You'd have a blueprint, right? Same exact thing with your goals. So at night when we talk, it's what kind of blueprint, so to speak, can we have that's going to, sure, impact my children, but also allow them to see what's possible. Because just like Catherine said, you do it for your kids, that's fine, but you have to discover why that matters. So what, you do it for your kids. So does everyone, right? Anyone who has got family, kids, relatives, parents, whatever, they do it for other people, but you have to know why that matters. Because if you don't know why, it's easy to just say, okay, well, I'll get a job, I'll go limit myself to make others comfortable, and that's not what we're made for. We're made for more. So when we're made for more, we decide that we're worth it. And when we decide we're worth it, it's contagious for other people to do the same.
Wow.